You won't admit you love me, and so how
Do you have a
am I
light?
ever to know? You always tell me.
Get her.
This doesn't have to be a scene.
It really, really does.
I'd like to remind you all that I'm doing this in heels.
What was your name?
Cruella.
Now, that was a clip from the 2021 film Cruella, starring Emma Stone as the infamous fashion designer and directed by Craig Gillespie. I'm sorry, Craig, I can never pronounce your last name right. I hope I got that right. But he was most notably known for his 2017 film I, Tonya, which is a personal favorite of mine. And now I'm joined today by Nick Pettis. And how are you doing today, Nick?
I'm doing great. How about yourself, Jake?
Oh, I'm doing fine as always, chilling as always. Okay, so before we get into the nitty gritty of how we feel about Cruella, allow me to read a quick synopsis. Set in 1970s London, Cruella is the story of a young grifter, Estella, who dreams of being a fashion icon. This dream leads her to the Baroness, London's most esteemed fashion designer, played by Emma Thompson. This relationship grows into a rivalry that will change the course of Estella's life as she begins to unearth the secrets of her past and taps into a more wicked side of herself. This is the birth of Cruella de Vil. So let's get into it, Nick. What were your overall thoughts on Cruella?
So I first thought when I watched this movie was I was not a fan of the original 101 Dalmatians, which I watched the morning before because I've never watched
Oh, oh, you did mention that. I remember that.
it. Well, it turns out that I actually kind of like Cruella. Emma Stone played the multiple personality part extremely well. And for Emma Thompson, I've only seen her in Beauty and the Beast 2017, which is the live action version. If you guys haven't seen it, you better check it out. And I've never seen her as a villain, and when she came into her own, oh yeah, she was a good villain, not gonna lie. And the rest of the characters played their parts well, and I'm actually surprised that it was a movie I'd actually liked if I didn't like the story before it.
I'm going to have to agree with you on Emma Thompson and Emma Stone. They were absolute powerhouse performances, especially Emma Thompson.
You're short, you're fat, you smell like an anchovy, you're colorblind, but you pretend you aren't. You're a man who can't take responsibility. Your revenues are down 15%. Your foot traffic by 12.5. Yes, I do my own research. Your store hasn't been refurbished since the Blitz. People don't know whether to buy a frock or duck and cover, and most of the funds meant for refurbs are being embezzled by you.
You know, I've seen Beauty and the Beast 2017, but I don't remember what role she played in that. I don't even remember if I've seen her before, but this will be the role that's going to stick in my mind because she was electrifying. Like, she's one of those, she's able to play that character that she used to love to hate. Like, every time I saw her on the screen, I was like, this is amazing, but I want something bad to happen to you. I want you to stop what you're doing because things are going off the rails. And Emma Stone, not many people can pull that off. Not many people can pull off that dual personality thing. I think the most exceptional time I've ever seen it was James McAvoy in Split. I don't know if you've ever seen Split, but he plays a character with multiple personalities, and it is, no offense to Emma Stone, it's far beyond what Emma Stone did here, but that's not a knock to her because she still knocked it out of the park. And then when she and Emma Thompson were on the screen at the same time, their dynamic, they were just bouncing off each other. It was electrifying.
A part I had to say was my favorite was when Cruella and Emma Thompson's character were both in the same scene, but they never really knew it was Cruella being the same place at the same time. So that honestly was my favorite scene until she got found out.
No, yeah. See, that's a dynamic I liked in the film where you were never quite sure if they knew. You felt like they could know because Emma's performance was really nuanced where she was allowing her Cruella personality to slightly overtake her Estella personality at times. She would be a little quippy. She would be a little sarcastic towards Emma Thompson's character, the Baroness. And a few times I was like, oh, she's gonna find out. Like, you need to calm it down.
If you guys haven't checked out this movie yet, you might as well, because we just spoiled a decent point in the plots. So, sorry, spoiler alerts.
I don't know. Probably spoilers. I don't know how many live action Disney films you've watched. I watched just about all of them, whether it's the remakes or some sort of adaptation like Maleficent. And the common thread that goes through most of those live action remakes is that they have no soul. Like, they take these ideas, these films, these concepts that people love from classic movies, and they hit them beat by beat. Like, they are the exact same story with a few things changed, but they lose the soul of what people enjoyed about those films. The most prominent example for me is The Lion King. I think it came out in 2019. It was gorgeous. It was a technical marvel. Like, sometimes I just put that on just to have it in the background to look at it, because it's just jaw-droppingly gorgeous. But there is absolutely no soul in there, just mainly because the technique that they used, because everything's realistic. But Cruella, it knocked it out of the park when it comes to soul. It has so much soul in it. It has the soul of a punk rock anarchist. It was a fun movie. I was not expecting to have this much fun during it. Like, from the beginning, it just pops off. There's the soundtrack. Like, I did not expect the soundtrack. I had asked my wife before I started watching the movie if she wanted to watch it with me. And she's not really a fan of these Disney live action movies. But halfway through it, she asked me, like, are you still watching Cruella? Because this soundtrack sounds fun. Like, this is a good soundtrack. And it was a fun time.
Yeah, I've seen a decent portion of the live actions. One I'm hopefully looking forward to Disney making would be a live action Hercules. Come on. They made several live actions about girls, but hey, dude's gotta represent. Come on, Disney. Get your act into gear. No disrespect, Disney.
I think I would like to see a live action Hercules. That's one of my favorite ones. But yeah. Also, something I noticed about this film was that the cinematography, there was some really creative shots in this film. One most that sticks out most in my mind is at the beginning, Estella starts off as a young girl and she's dyeing her hair, and it's in front of her mirror, and she ducks down under the screen and she pops back up, and now it's 25-year-old Emma Stone. And that was a really fun piece transition. Like, I don't see a lot of that stuff in these Disney live action movies. And there was a lot of that going on in the film. Like, they really took some creative liberties in ways I did not expect.
Yeah, and what surprised me about that exact scene was she dyed her hair, but she never really showed her true hair because she was always in a wig and costume. Again, spoilers. Sorry, people. But yeah, I was really surprised that she did that, and I'm just in awe because of this movie.
I think I'm gonna have to agree with you there. Like, I went into this with really low expectations, but it was an overall really good time. Like, I don't think there is a single part of it that I would say was bad. Like, the cast, like, everyone is fun. Like, everyone has a distinct personality to them. They each have something that makes them tick. And then the production value. Like, I was not expecting to really fall in love with all these different outfits, because this is a fashion movie. It's a fashion heist film, if I had to describe it. And the things they're able to do with that concept of bringing the world of fashion to the world of heist, it was really impressive. Like, I found myself invested in it and just at awe in what they were able to create.
Definitely. I'm sorry, one last spoiler, people. One of the costumes I really liked was when she came out of the garbage truck wearing a dress
Yes.
made out of all the dresses. I was like, oh my gosh, this is just, this is cool, but gross at the same time, because that's kind of unsanitary.
That was the exact scene I was going to mention. I was planning on mentioning that because it not only was just impressive from a production standpoint, it's what it meant for the film. There's a rivalry going on, and the symbolism between her rivals' dresses being pulled out of a trash can, because those were all her rivals' dresses. That spoke to me. I was like, you did her dirty, Emma Stone. You did her dirty.
Yeah, it's crazy that it was Emma versus Emma, basically.
Yes, yeah. That's how you can describe this film. Put it on the poster. Emma versus Emma.
But yeah, I was really surprised by this film. I had no idea that it was going to be like this. I was completely blown away.
You know, I'm gonna have to correct myself in the fact that I'm gonna say that there's nothing bad about this film. There's one thing, it's not necessarily just in this film, it's something that a lot of films have a problem with. I believe in the rule of show, don't tell. And this movie has this narration going on in the beginning and during some parts during the middle where it's telling us about what's happening instead of showing us in an interesting way. I'm just not a big fan of narration that overstays its welcome, and I felt that you should only use narration in certain circumstances. And this failed my test for narration.
Unfortunately, Jake, I'm gonna have to disagree with you. As a former actor, I love the narration because I'm one who likes to know what the heck is going on here. So it's like, da 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 da, and this is happening to me, and why this is happening to me is because of this.
Yeah, that's completely understandable. It is definitely a quick and easy way to get information to the viewer without having to do too much work in the whole visual department and that end. However, I always would prefer, I should say, when they take that extra effort to make those things known through the visual sense, because a movie, it's about what you're seeing. You can do so much there. And then that's not necessarily to say that, like, this point is not saying that Cruella is a bad film whatsoever. It's just a little nitpick I have. It's something that just makes my skin crawl a little bit.
We'll agree to disagree on that
Oh,
point.
of course, yeah.
But
Of
I'm gonna
course.
say this one last time, people. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's on Disney Plus and it's free now. No more premiere access.
Oh, yeah, that's always a good thing. It's interesting. I'm kind of enjoying this little thing they're experimenting with Premiere Access. It gives them a way to make a little extra money while still giving people options.
Definitely. And since theaters are just opening back up now and having the option to watch at home, I feel safer watching at home rather than going to a theater, but still, it's nice to have the choice.
Yeah, of course. So choice is like, I believe choice is always a good thing. And I hope they don't take away this choice, because if choice is taken away, now that's never the good thing. If you give the choice, don't take it back. But okay, it sounds like that's pretty much our thoughts on Cruella. Do you have anything else to say about the movie, Nick?
Just check it out and let us know what you think in the comments.
Okay, yeah, it just got just about the same for me. It is a really fun ride. You might not be expecting much from it, but if you just let the movie take you where it wants to take you, then I think you're going to be in for a good, electrifying time. And even if you're not a fan of the whole fashionista sort of angle, watch it for the two powerhouse performances by Emma Stone and Emma Thompson. Those are two performances that I really think are going to be in some of the top of the year, because they were really impressive.
Definitely.
Okay, but until next time, guys.
See you guys next time.
That's all, folks.